living just in the area is just not as fulfilling for them as patrolling, the, 50-acre area that they would have if they were in the wild, or 200-mile area, whichever it is. So we give them enrichment things. We'll give them things like they can play with the balls. You'll see some of them have kind of wind chime looking things. We'll put perfume there so they can smell things. We sometimes take stuffed animals out, just all sorts of things to just get their juices flowing, get them thinking, get them playing, so they're not just sitting there all day.
Okay, so intellectual stimulation.
Yes, we call it enrichment.
A positive fact about the animals here, they'll live twice their expectancy because they're not out in the wild. They don't have to hunt for their food. They don't have to fight. They're not territorialized. So some of these animals will live as long as 25, 30 years here. They have the black tufted ears. They're the only cats that I'm aware of that have the tufted ears like that. It comes from, the word caracal comes from a Turkish word meaning black ears. They're found mostly in South Africa. They are significant jumpers and hunters. They hide many times in the bushes, in the tall grass, and flicker those ears. Birds come down, and these guys can jump as high as 13 to 14 feet in both hands, having birds, several of them, for their prey. These are one of the only cats that will actually hunt animals larger than themselves. I'll give them a tree. Why don't you give them anything there?
So a lot of these guys are actually from, the desert areas. You can tell from his coat. A lot of the airports down there have actually started importing them because they don't really mess with people too terribly much unless they really feel that that's necessary. They prefer, birds and game like that, like he was saying.
Oh my God.
So,
he's going to come up high. I'm going to put this up pretty high.
And whenever he comes up, look at his paws. They're huge for such a small little guy.
They are found mostly in Central America. They are now starting to migrate back into the lower United States. You can find some of them in Texas, lower parts of Texas and Mexico.
Ocelots?
Ocelots. I'll see if we get him. Great climbers. These are the only cats that can climb down a tree face forward and actually rotate their front paws 360. They are, okay guy, one more time. Good. Come on, let's come back up.
Ah, there he goes.
They're endangered mainly because for many years they were hunted for their fur, very popular coats for women. Unfortunately, it took close to 35 to 36 pelts to make one coat.
In North Carolina, it is legal to own a tiger.
Yes.
Lucky actually came from, was it Michigan? Yeah. Where it is illegal to own a tiger. And his owner was stopped for a traffic violation, and a 6-month-old Lucky was sitting in the back seat.
Yeah, you like this, huh?
So Lucky was confiscated by the police officer and taken to the zoo. At which point, a little bit later, we got a call. Carmelita was here. She was here before, and we got a call that said, we have a tiger who would like to have a friend. Do you have a tiger you can send up to be his girlfriend? We said, sure, you can have Carmelita. So we gave them Carmelita, and a few years later, the zoo closed. And they called us back and said, would you like to have your tiger back? And we said, sure, we'll take her back. And they said, well, she's got a boyfriend. Do you want her boyfriend back too? We said, sure, we'll take Lucky too. So that's how Lucky came to live with us.
Yeah, you want your chicken too, huh? Yeah, we better give it to you quick before Lucky gets over here. Yeah. There you are.
So just sitting here, even with the height difference between...
You can see the tumor on her leg. It varies in size. Some days it's much smaller. Sometimes it looks as big as a basketball, but it obviously isn't keeping her from getting around. And when she's checked out, the vet pretty much indicates that she's not in pain. So as long as she can maintain this quality of life.
So just looking between the two, you can see the size difference. of just how much bigger he is.
Absolutely.
So what they think she has is a very, very rare bone cancer that has not ever been recorded in tigers before. But as he was saying, they would either, to remove it, would require either taking out a major muscle portion or amputating the leg entirely. Neither of which are good plans for a tiger. So since it doesn't seem to bother her, it doesn't keep her from doing anything. They just monitor her closely, keep an eye on her, make sure she's still walking, make sure she's not in any pain, and just kind of leave it be. And female tigers can spray too.
As we have just witnessed.
As you have witnessed.
And could we please take it? The person was told to call back during the week and talk to the curator because we just can't take pets that quick. We have to also make sure there's room in the containment area. What unfortunately happened was Elvis appeared the next morning in a crate on the doorstep with a note saying, "We cannot handle you anymore. Please take care of Elvis." Unfortunately, she was undernourished. The collar around her neck had been in, so it actually had cut a line in her neck. Her nose was bruised pretty bad, and you can tell she was in a very small containment area because when she was ultimately put in this enclosure, all she did was pace, not knowing where she was going. Also declawed, and unfortunately when they declaw cats, it's not just the nail they're ejecting, they're taking the front tip of those. So,
Yeah.
but she's a climber, and I know she's waiting for a treat. So we'll get her to climb a little bit too. Yeah, you know what's coming behind this bag.
So, as you can see, Elvis is very fond of food as well. He firmly believes that he should be fed all the time.
You gonna climb for us? Show them how you climb?
So, servals here have a much better hunting ratio than, say, tigers and lions do.